Hey, what's going on, Super Affiliate Network family? Misha Wilson here. I wanted to shoot this little video just for you guys, just kind of more or less on the fly. I've been up actually troubleshooting something that you guys may or may not hear about here coming up very shortly. But with that said, I wanted to go ahead and shoot this quick little kind of more or less just on the fly video to kind of more or less share with you a case study of something that we teach within the Profit Boosting Bootcamp that a lot of people kind of more or less, tend to have a hard time believing whether or not it actually exists and whether or not marketing in general, especially with, our form of marketing, with our follow-up strategies, with everything we teach you, with the system, and so on and so forth, really kind of works the way it does. And that is the popcorn effect, right? So really kind of we teach you within the Profit Boosting Bootcamp not to judge, the effectiveness of every single campaign immediately if you don't make a lot of sales, right then. We teach to not necessarily judge the quality of a buyer if they don't necessarily jump immediately to pro right after going ahead and getting started, or immediately to the Maui Intensive level of membership immediately after going ahead and getting started with pro, right? And a few of our members have really experienced the popcorn effect on a large scale and a large level, and lots of our members haven't because they haven't been consistent. So really the key to making the popcorn effect work for you is firstly being really consistent on the front end when it comes to the amount of buyers you actually bring into the actual system. And then secondly, of course, the amount of leads that you actually bring through the funnels, which of course equates to buyers. And then with the back end, really just kind of more or less letting the system do the work, building your team culture, and really kind of more or less doing everything we train you on within the actual Profit Boosting Bootcamp. But with that said, what happens is that the popcorn effect doesn't necessarily immediately kick in every single time. People stop generating leads, they stop generating buyers, they get off track when it comes to generating their 2 buyers per day. They don't necessarily think people are going to upgrade to pro because it doesn't happen immediately. They don't think people are going to upgrade to Maui because it doesn't happen immediately. And based on those things, it keeps them from being consistent within their journey. So what I wanted to share with you here today, just in this training module, is just this little kind of more or less case study. And I'll share with you this testimonial in just a minute, but just this case study of Keisha. So you guys have obviously heard of Keisha, considering that you're here listening to my voice and watching this video. You're a Super Affiliate Network member, and you know that Keisha's, totally crushing it in her business. But what you don't know is that Keisha kind of more or less came in and had the mindset of 2 buyers per day each and every single day, and then I'm going to let the system do the work. 2 buyers per day each and every single day. And she didn't necessarily have that mindset at the very beginning because she was more or less just testing the system out, right? But then at a certain point, when she decided to run with the actual system, she ran really hard. She made a bunch of pro sales very quickly through hosting your team meetings, through going ahead and bringing buyers through the system, through doing everything that we teach you really how to do here at the Super Affiliate Network, right? But with that said, she actually didn't have that many people jump immediately to the Maui Intensive level. So this is a perfect example of the popcorn effect really kicking in on the back end when her members take action, go ahead and upgrade to the pro level of membership, up to the Maui Intensive and then all-in level of membership, where she of course earns big $3,500 and $5,500 commissions on the back end. All right. So essentially, Keisha has done, I think, close to 90,000 in sales now. I think it was 80,000. Then she had all these Mauis come through. So she's done close to $90,000 worth of sales, and most of that comes from firstly pro sales, and then secondly front end sales of the annual level of membership. Front end $37 subscriptions, and more or less all of those levels of membership, right? And she's kind of been at this place where I've known it was going to kick in, but I was wondering if she was going to stay consistent enough to really kind of more or less see it happen, right? And very methodically, just kind of step by step, she's been bringing more and more and more and more pro members in. And just in the last 3 days, she's actually had 2 people join the Maui Intensive, and she has 1 other person who's joining the Maui Intensive level of membership coming up, I believe, on Monday. So he actually tried to get started. The bank declined. And, that's the nature of the beast sometimes when you work with banks and buying stuff online, right? But with that said, the really kind of more or less the illustration that I wanted to go ahead and share, and I'm going to dive into why it works this way in just a minute. But if Keisha wouldn't have been consistent, if she wouldn't have had the same consistent message with her team, if she wouldn't have had the same consistent message with her actual marketing, if she wouldn't have been consistent with actually bringing people through the system, if she wouldn't have been consistent with making those pro sales, people wouldn't have gone ahead and ended up upgrading into, let's say, the Maui or the all-in level of experience, based on the simple fact that when you lose consistency in your message, when you lose consistency in your marketing, when you lose consistency in what you're doing, the people who you're leading also see that you're losing consistency, and they lose consistency in what they're doing. That's what leads them to going off into la la land and starting, to buy one thing after the next, shiny object syndrome, one course, one system, one offer, and so on and so forth, instead of staying true to the system like we teach you how to do, right? So the simple fact that Keisha stayed true to the system for so long is what really kind of more or less is equating to all of these Maui sales for her very quickly into this short period of time. In the short period of time, what I'll say is that with how many pro people she's brought through already, pro sales she's brought through already, I would virtually guarantee that she'll actually make more Maui sales with just the customers that she already has. And then, of course, she'll continue to bring more and more and more people in, right? So she's hit critical mass within the actual system. So with that said, I just kind of wanted to share with you very quickly the reasons people buy, so you can really see how this works, on a kind of micro level. So the big three reasons people always buy are gain, logic, and fear. And this is kind of even more so the case when it comes to the front end offers. Now, this is of course the case with back end offers too, but always think of these three things. So gain is the big benefit. So, the system, the Solo Out Success Formula as an example, getting my best traffic sources, learning how to drive good traffic that actually converts, right? That's the benefit. The logic is, it being the best deal out there, it being tax deductible, it being, a complete and total no-brainer compared to everything else. And then fear is missing out. So fear is missing out on bonuses, missing out on a deadline with, maybe a price hack, some sort of, if you don't purchase right now, you're going to miss out in the future, right? And the two biggest kind of more or less driving motivating factors here are gain, desire, and then fear, missing out, right? So the big benefit and then missing out, you have a very, very, very small percentage of the buyers who actually come through and purchase with logic, right? Now, with that said, on the front end, it's a lot easier to focus on just gain, logic, and fear for, let's say, a $37 offer all the way up to the pro level of membership, which is, of course, the $2,500 offer, right? But then with the back end offers, what tends to happen is they take a little bit longer. It takes, kind of more or less, well, I'll get into it in a minute here, but it takes longer and it tends to not be as immediate when it comes to the actual popcorn effect kicking in. All right. So that's for a couple of different reasons. And that's because, bottom line, you have to kind of more or less address more than just the gain, the logic, and the fear to get someone to make a high ticket buying decision. All right. So the first one is faith in the system. So just kind of more or less people understanding that if they actually use the system, good things will happen, right? Having faith in what we have built out here at the Super Affiliate Network. Seeing it work for other people is really the key to getting people to have faith. But long term, it's one of those things where, look at it this way. If you had complete and total faith in the system, that the system would work out for you. If you had complete and total faith in, you taking the action steps to go ahead and produce a six-figure and, multiple 6-7-figure business based on the system working for you here at the Super Affiliate Network, wouldn't it be a complete and total no-brainer to go to the all-in level of membership directly upon joining the system, right? If you had complete and total faith in the system, wouldn't you want to go to all-in immediately, right? And the obvious answer is yes. But with that said, let me close out Dan there. The obvious answer is yes, but people have to more or less build up their faith in the system over a course of a period of time based on the simple fact that there's so much out there that doesn't actually work. There's so many different systems, so many different gurus, so many different promises made by, big time gurus out there that just kind of more or less don't deliver on what they actually promise. And then based on the fact that they don't deliver on what they promise, people get jaded, the marketplace gets jaded, people kind of more or less get skeptical, and we constantly have to overcome that skepticism and that kind of more or less jadedness factor in our marketing by simply doing the right thing, providing value, really going above and beyond to figure out, different ways to provide more value for our customers, and really kind of constantly trying to figure out what's the best route to give our customer the best experience, all right? So we, of course, do everything in our power just to give the best experience. And then also we have all our various case studies, our testimonials, our congratulations calls. Those are just reinforcing the faith in the system that the new member has who's thinking about going to, let's say, Maui or All In, right? Strength of offer is also important. And that's kind of more or less, I think, one of the most important things when it comes to high ticket stuff. Just kind of more or less that big benefit really being, completely and totally out there and, obviously real and not fake. But with that said, the offer strength, if someone's going to give you, let's say $10,000 or above, and I'm actually just going to touch on this for a minute, but $10,000 or above, they have to know that, it's actually possible for them to build that $100,000 per year business with that offer based on the fact that if you're going to get someone to buy, you need to make the value proposition seem 10 times more valuable than the actual price that you're asking, all right? So strength of offer, we have this dialed in at the Super Affiliate Network because, I think I spend a lot of my time and the team and Jason and everyone, we spend a lot of our time within actually creating the best offers and conceiving of the best offers humanly possible. But still, strength of offer isn't good enough to get people to take that buying decision immediately unless these other things don't come into play, right? So if the offer is, let's say, take us up on our 1-year coaching mentorship program, use the system, get positioned, and if you actually do what we tell you to do, you'll build a 6-figure business, right? Virtually guaranteed, which is, I truly and completely and totally believe in that statement. Yes, that's a great offer, and that offer is extremely strong. But with that said, if they don't have faith in the system, they're not going to purchase. All right. So strength of offer, faith in the system. Next, we have relationships with the team and with kind of more or less the people behind the Super Affiliate Network. And this is kind of more or less just general, how it works when it comes to selling high ticket stuff. But there needs to be more of a relationship built. There needs to be more of, know, like, and trust built. There needs to be more of, kind of more or less them actually knowing that you're a good person who has good intentions, who actually wants to help you, and who actually really wants to genuinely kind of more or less provide value to you in order for them to make that buying decision to go ahead and get upgraded, right? And that's why we host events. That's why we have live events. We have live events where we don't have, it's not a big pitch fest where every single speaker sells and where, I'm selling every single time I get on stage, and when we're just trying to more or less sell as much as we can as a short period of time as humanly possible. But even though we don't sell like crazy, the events end up being very profitable because people see us, people see that we're real people, people see that we have, their intentions at heart, their best intentions, our intentions are with their best interests at heart. And people get kind of more or less, more of a relationship built in more of a quick, short period of time within an event environment. So it really, once again, builds the bond and builds a relationship with that person to the next level that much more quickly. And that's why events can work so well. You can kind of, when it comes to front end, you can do that with webinars. You can do that, a little bit with high ticket over the phone. Let's say the $2,500 offer pro, that's enough of a relationship with the actual coach to make that $2,500 buying decision. But with that said, with our, of course, Maui Intensive or All In level of membership, you need to keep fostering that relationship to the next level. You need to keep really kind of more or less building more know, like, and trust with that person in order to go ahead and get them to buy. And that takes a longer period of time, right? So again, if at any state within this actual kind of more or less process, Keisha would have said, you know what, I'm not seeing Maui sales. Let me go to promote these 3 other things. And, we'll go from there. All the people who just upgraded to the Maui Intensive, level of membership would have followed her lead, and they would have went ahead and purchased those 3 other things instead of going to the Maui level of membership. All right. So these are all things that take time. Faith in the system. We do everything in our power to make it happen as quickly as possible. That takes time though. Relationship and trust with the team. That takes time. Right. And then lastly, just kind of more or less fun. So a lot of people, when it comes to a high ticket offer, they need to get their funds together. All right. They need to come up with a payment plan. They need to come up with, actually allocating the funds over the course of, let's say, a month or 2 months, or sometimes it's actually a combination of, they have the funds available, but they have, not quite enough of a relationship with the team. They don't quite have enough faith in the system. So they put, let's say 33% down of the Maui Intensive. But then, they're still not really sure. popular. And so they go and they spend money on traffic. And again, it becomes this whole cycle where we need to constantly reinforce faith in the system, relationship and trust with the team, show them, of course, the strength of the offer, show them different case studies of people who have taken us up on the actual offer, show them testimonials of people who have, of course, gone through our coaching mentorship program, who are getting results, who are extremely happy with it, to make, of course, the big benefit, the obvious logical decision for them to go ahead and make. And of course, when it comes to fear with our high ticket back-end offers, really sometimes people actually need to miss out 1 or 2 times on a high ticket sale. So obviously here at the Super Affiliate Network, if you're not positioned, if you bring someone in, if they upgrade to Maui, you miss out on that sale. Oftentimes missing out on just 1 or 2 sales can get someone upgraded very, very, very quickly because they don't want to feel that pain of missing out again. All right. So I just wanted to shoot this quick little video for you to firstly illustrate the benefit of staying consistent, on your lead conversions and your actual lead flow on the front end, on your buyer flow, sticking to 2 buyers per day, each and every single day, no matter what happens on the back end. And then secondly, being consistent within your actual message to your team, all right? Being consistent with your actual message to your marketing, in your marketing, and instead of going, 3 different places at once or 4 different places at once, understand that if you go 3 or 4 different places at once, the people who are following you are also going to go 3 or 4 different places at once. And this whole process that we have in place, it isn't going to really kick in the way that we, of course, have designed to kick in with the popcorn effect. So with that said, Keisha, congratulations on all of the Maui sales. I hope you guys got some value out of this little Facebook Live, or not Facebook Live, excuse me, video that I've done. And just to share with you kind of more or less we have an option here. Some other systems out there, they just kind of hard sell people very quickly, all right? And instead of taking the time to build a relationship, instead of taking the time to really kind of more or less foster that relationship and foster that bond and foster that really kind of more or less know, like, and trust process with the actual customer, they hard sell and they get a bad reputation for hard selling. And then after someone's taken action and actually gone ahead and purchased, that person immediately has buyer remorse, and that leads to, of course, refunds, it leads to chargebacks, it leads to businesses going out of business, it leads to businesses getting shut down by the FTC, and in general, it just leads to a bunch of kind of more or less stuff you don't want to have to deal with, all right? When you do it our way, when it comes to building a relationship, providing more value, really kind of more or less going above and beyond to give your client the best experience humanly possible, and doing it over the course of a period of time, here's the kind of message that you get from someone when they go ahead and purchase a high ticket offer. So this is one of Keisha's members. She actually said I could use this. So again, I'm sharing a private message, but I asked her if it was all right. And she just says, "Hey, Misha, what's going on? First, I want to truly thank you for, the creation of the system. This has literally changed my life. And I'm just getting started, not just making money, but I'm truly finding my genius. And I have to thank you for that." And then secondly, Keisha Bass, I can't say enough about her. We met at MLSP, different system. Love those guys over there, just for the record. And I just wanted to kind of more or less voice my opinion on her. She was my coach. I signed up with San because of her and Misha. She is a diamond. It would not have been possible to do this if it were without her. I don't know if you're going to hand out awards at the event, but I must tell you, she provides so much value, love, and inspiration to our team. I love her. I love you, and I love San. And again, I know this is long, but I wanted to share because it's from the heart. Have a great weekend. And thank you, guys are changing lives. So thank you, Kirshana. And with that said, again, that's just a perfect example of this is someone who actually just purchased our $12,500 back-end offer. And this is the kind of message I get, all right? So if you ever get worried about selling that higher ticket offer, if you ever get worried about, are you worth providing that, high ticket offer? Do you have enough value to provide? Yes, you do. Firstly, give yourself permission to go ahead and offer that $12,000 offer or whatever your offer may be on the back end. And then secondly, stick to the principles of understanding that the more value you provide, the better off you'll be, the more of a relationship you have with your audience that's really kind of been built on just best business practices over a longer period of time, the better off you'll be. Kind of don't succumb to, using any manipulation or hardcore selling in order to make a quick sale here and there. And you'll end up with happy clients. You'll end up with people making money like Keisha is. You'll end up with people making money like Kirshana is. And then you'll end up with happy clients sending you the kind of messages that I just went ahead and shared with you. after they go ahead and get started with your high ticket offer. So with that said, guys, I hope you got some value out of this little video here today. I'm used to doing Facebook Live, so I almost said Facebook Live again, but I hope you got some value out of this video. And again, stay consistent with your messaging, stay consistent with your marketing, focus on generating leads every single day, focus on converting 2 of those leads into buyers every single day, focus on being consistent with your message to your actual team, to your buyers that you actually bring through the system. And our system is designed to do the hard work for you as long as you'll stay consistent in your overall message. So with that said, I'm going to get back to work here on this thing that I've been doing for the last couple of hours. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes. If you sent me one, I appreciate it. And I got some really warm, heartfelt messages, and it really just, it means a lot to me at the bottom of my heart. So appreciate all you guys, and talk soon. All right, guys, later.